Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today is probably the video that I've most wanted to do after the house ones this year, and I just felt like we're at the point of the year now. What day is it? 18th of November, where I can finally do it and show you everything that I have made this year. This video is actually sponsored, and Caterpillar Cross Stitch have been somebody that I've worked with now for about a year. I have got some of their kits on the go at the moment, or one of their kits. No, two. So what I'll do is I'll get into the video, show you some of the things I've made this year, and I will be talking a bit about their latest thing. Is it a thing? When people ask me that, where do you find the time for it? It's basically what I do whenever I have a free moment. Instead of like going on my phone or, I don't know, just watching TV, I guess. That's what a normal person would do. Just watch TV or things like that. I decide to always be crafting, more or less. And it doesn't feel like a chore to me at all. Otherwise I wouldn't do it. Yeah, it's how I relax. If you are new to my channel, I would appreciate if you could give me a big thumbs up if you've enjoyed this video, if you leave me a comment, if you're feeling a bit talkative, and if you could subscribe, that would be lovely. I feel like despite the mess, I'm going to be filming quite a lot in here. Why? Because most of my craft projects are in here. So I'm going to show you things up close, and let's just get started. I'm going to count this as the first thing I made this year. It is something that I got in an advent calendar. I really like this piece. I haven't displayed it yet. This is the first year it will be being displayed. Mainly because it's a perfect year for me to have on a cross stitch piece, because the car kind of resembles, funnily enough, the car I had at the time. All of the boxes moving, because I literally did a lot of my moving in the car. And then of course we got engaged. So it's a symbolic year for me. So my second project of the year was actually this. So this is a crochet hammock. Now this was made with an intention of storage, which is exactly what it delivers. I think I found the pattern before I got the wool. I can only imagine that would have been the right way around to do things. I always had the intention of making something like this quite soon after I moved here, because I had no storage for my vast collection of friends. It probably took me no more than, well actually it took me a week, which you think for the size of this is really, really good. And there's a lot of smaller projects that take more than a week. So I was really happy with how it worked out. But I would really highly recommend this pattern and this in general, and if you want to make it, just leave me a comment down below and I can find a link to the Etsy pattern. So I'll now talk about the sponsor of today's video, which is Caterpillar Cross Stitch, and it's all about their All-Star Stitches membership program. So this is something that they trialed or started last year, and it was really, really successful. So they brought it back again this year, and it's even better. So if you thought it was good last year, you're going to love this year's. It's £45 for a membership for one whole year. And included in that are loads of things. So it definitely makes it more than worth the value of what you pay. And it's a community. So that's one of my favourite things about Caterpillar Cross Stitch. Place is open for this on the 29th of November and they close on the 12th of January. So it's not something that's available all year. Hence why I need to tell you about this right now. So included in the membership, you get 4 exclusive patterns. One of these is their mascot, Carlos the Caterpillar. And that's probably my favourite because he's on everything they do. And yet we don't have a pattern of him yet. So you need to be a member for next year to be able to get your hands on that. The other 3 patterns we don't know about, but there was one that they released for this year's recently, and it was a really nice like Scandi Fox. Really want that pattern. It's really, really nice. You also get a little membership needle minder. Now these on their own are about £9.50, so you get a really good product included in the membership, a membership pack. You get your own discount code for 10% off throughout the year, so if you like to buy their stuff anyway, you'll definitely be making money back on what you've paid for the membership just because you spend a lot on their website like me. You get early access for events and their stitch alongs, which is fun. And also you get entered into a lucky dip. Now I don't know much about that and what that's going to entail, but it's a lucky dip, so it sounds great. One of the best things about being part of something like this is once you've paid for it, say the end of this year or the beginning of next, you've then got to enjoy that for the rest of the year without paying anything else. So I will leave a link in the description to become a member of the All-Star Stitchers. What a great name. And do leave me a comment if you have any questions about it. Even though this is sponsored, you know I like this company anyway. I was buying their stuff before I started working with them, so it's just a great partnership. A quick little shout out for these crochet coasters. So I made these with a Bella Coco subscription box. I got them on a pass box for Christmas, and they were quite fiddly, to be honest, so I only ended up making 2, but really like the design, and they go perfectly beside the bed. So next up is actually a project I'm still working on. So this is a blanket, and from what I said earlier, blankets take me a long time. I have to be in the mood, so this one's been on the go all year using the West Yorkshire Spinners yarn, the same one that I used for the hammock. And basically whenever I fancy it, I'll just pick this up. I kind of hope to have it done for winter, but I didn't want the pressure of that, so I'm just doing it as and when. But when it is done, it will feel amazing, and I have got a lot of it crocheted. So the next clip I'm just going to insert because Brit, she absolutely loves a crochet headband. So she just said to me one morning, here's your video to put in your video about my crochet headband, because it's not with me. So I'm just going to insert that right now.
Here I am today, sporting my lovely headband that Bloss made me earlier in the year. It is the first day that I'm wearing it this season. I'm also very tired because I'm on my way to work, but this is the commitment to Bloss's vlogs. Yeah, she loves it.
One thing you may or may not know about me is that I often take on large projects and then regret them. So I do try and minimize that sometimes. But with the wedding, I desperately wanted to make something really big. And I've completed the project. So it's probably my second biggest project I've ever done. But I completed it and it took me a long time. I started it in February. I think I finished it in September. But within that time, I had done a lot of other projects, so it actually didn't take me too long, but it took a lot of commitment to triangles. So I have made crochet bunting, and I don't think I want to get it out now because even just folding it away takes ages. The length of the barn we're getting married in, bunting. So it's going to be quite a piece, and then we're also going to get a few other decorations, but it really does basically... Well, it is the main decor, I'd say, for the room. And yeah, I'll just show you a sneak preview of what it looks like. I also made these teeny tiny crochet hearts, which was planned to be used on the tables at the wedding, then realised, you know what, I've taken on enough projects and I don't think I need to be crafting anything else. So I had to kind of hold myself back. And I've got a few of these. I'll probably do something with them, but I've got a couple more. They're not going to be something that I have many of, but I do think they're really sweet. And they were a Bella Coco Valentine's Day pattern. Something that me and Brit worked on together for an entire day in February was Maid of Honor boxes. So I wanted to do something creative for, why are they called Maid of Honor boxes? Bridesmaid boxes is what I mean. These were created for 4 people, because we decided Brit didn't need one herself because she was there helping me. And I think for her, she was really crafted out afterwards, but they were really nice. I'm going to put a little photo in somewhere because obviously I don't have them anymore, but I think she found the idea online and they just were perfect. They were a really nice little keepsake. And we got the main boxes from Hobbycraft and then did little things to put inside, which I had most of the stuff, so it didn't actually cost a lot, but was a really thoughtful way of asking someone to be your bridesmaid. So another thing that I actually made for the wedding was these. So these are table names. Yeah, table names. I got the circular part from Hobbycraft, bought some pens which you could write on them with, and I've named them all after places that me and John have been. So how many tables have we got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 tables. And luckily we've been to 9 countries. So we used a bit of artistic license and have used America for the 9th, but it's really fun. And I do plan on actually printing out a few photos potentially to go on the tables as well, or just like a couple, just to show like our adventures in each one. I love the fact that they were circular, so I could just do it like a world, and I think they're going to look really good on the big day with some flowers. I've been hovering around this a lot today, but this is the embroidery plant hanging. So my friend Casey, she got me this kit for my birthday, and I decided to do it pretty much straight away because I thought it would look perfect in the kitchen, which is where it is. I love it. It was my first try with embroidery, I think, and I'm pretty obsessed, to be honest. It wasn't too hard. The instructions weren't great, but I looked up anything I needed to, and I think I need to do more of this. I really, really do. I very much enjoyed working on my Crossstitch Maps this year. So this one was gifted to me in January and it ran all the way up until June. So this one didn't go by as fast as my current one because the Christmas one is done in a shorter amount of time. This one you got a part every month and I really enjoyed stitching it. It gave me enough time to do other projects at the same time as doing it, and it's turned out so nice. I learnt about the UK as I was doing it, and I enjoyed just finding different landmarks and working out like where we were going to go next. They've gone for some obvious things like Buckingham Palace, London Eye, Angel of the North, but then some other things that are just kind of represented with the culture of that place. So we've got a scone, a Cornish pasty, we've got a pot of gold at the end of the rainbow, which was one of my favourite motifs to stitch, and a ball of yarn for Scotland. And when I went to Scotland, I was stitching this part, which I really, really enjoyed. Over here, I also asked last Christmas for the map of the world, which is what kind of started me on the maps. And as you can see, it's not done. Mainly because it got to about August and I realised Christmas stitching really needed to begin. So I've done a little part of the pattern, but I really, really enjoyed this as well, especially doing the plain. I plan to take it travelling with me when I go places, which is fun. So when I go to America next year, I'll probably bring this with me. And again, lovely motifs, love doing Iceland and like the Arctic stuff. And it will look really good when it's done. I'll probably end up displaying it. As I mentioned, I did dabble with some crochet clothes this year. So I'm going to show you a few things that I've made, 2 which were successful and have been worn a lot, and 1 not so successful because it didn't fit me very well, but I do have a photo of it and I gave it to Brit and she's enjoyed it a bit. It's just a little bit difficult to wear. Here is my crochet Cardi. It's like a shrug, and I actually did make it with the intention of wearing it as a cover up on holiday, which I did do. When I went to Tenerife, it was worn with like a cover up skirt that I had. The yarn is probably a bit too fluffy and thick though to be wearing in a hot country, but it did get used for that purpose, but also mainly as like a summer cover up, because the type of airy material that I used and the stitch, which is a treble, meant that it was kind of perfect when it was too hot to wear a proper cardi, but I could wear it when it was still a little bit chilly, which it often is in the UK. So perfect. And I was really, really scared about washing it, but it washed really, really well. Yeah, very happy with my handiwork and getting to try to make my own clothes. So I then also made the crochet, it was like a crop top, so I will insert a picture here because I do have a picture. That was something that took me a weekend or so and I did really enjoy it, but just not really wearable for me. The last thing that I made to wear is this. This is a netted top, which you wear something underneath because it's very see-through. But the yarn is colour changing, as you can see from this. I think it was like a safari yarn. So I really, really enjoyed that. Did it up at the sides, had the head hole, and I made it entirely from a free crochet YouTube video. Again, I can find it for you if you're interested in making it. Do let me know, because the pattern's online. And the girl that shows it is really, really good. None of it's written, so you can just pause the video if you can't read patterns, and then, yeah, have a go making it yourself. It wasn't particularly challenging for somebody who's done quite a bit of crochet. And I really like the look of the stitch. It looks so good. The finished result is just what I wanted. We now need to be in the hall because behind me I have my crochet wall hanging. So I was really, really happy with this. I got it again in a Bella Coco Pass subscription box, and the subscription box gave me all the instructions to make it. It's called a Mindful Mandala, which is such a lovely name. I did a lot of it when I went to Spain this year. I enjoyed that, and then I finished it when I came back. It had a lot of different stitches, so it was quite fiddly, but I enjoyed the challenge of it. It turned out really well. You had to hairspray it to make it a wall hanging, and then John very kindly nailed it to the wall. He was convinced it would flop over, but with enough hairspray, it stayed up fine. I also made this cross-stitch llama, which was a gift I got last Christmas. This was on 14 count, and it's nice thick material with quite full thread, so it basically works up really nicely, and again was kind of like a holiday project. It took me a while to finish, but it was a nice thing to be spending my time doing, and I really, really like the finished result. So we are getting to the part of the video where it's stuff that's quite potentially on the go, so I'm going to do the last thing that I've definitely made and finished, and then we'll do some of my current projects. So these are pumpkins, and I have shown them in a previous video. They need to come down now, but I mean, we're putting up Christmas decorations in a week or so, so I'm just keeping them out until the end. This was a free pattern from West Yorkshire Spinners, and again, ask me if you'd like it. These are called carnival pumpkins, and then these are more traditional ones. There was like Cinderella pumpkins, something else, but I've enjoyed moving them around during the season, and I hope to make more each year. I'm also working on this crochet headband for Brit. She loves them, so I'm doing another. For some reason it started going a little bit wrong, and I'm not sure why. I've unpicked it a couple of times and it's still doing the same thing. So yeah, something's messed up along the way, but it still looks the right size and shape, so I'm going with it. And the yarn is so soft. It's from Hobbycraft, super, super soft. And she should have this in time for Christmas. Also could not help myself with the embroidery and bought the latest issue of Love Embroidery, and I've started doing some little pieces. So I'm halfway through mittens, as you can see, and I've done a stocking. These are going to be gift tags, so it gives you everything you need to make the gift tags. I hope to do these quite soon so I can use them on presents, but it really does depend on other things because I'm very, very committed to my main project, which is of course Christmas Wonderland, the main caterpillar cross stitch piece that I've been working on. So this is coming on amazing, and I don't know whether to show you where I am now, because the last video I showed you the tiny bit that I'd done first, which was like the beginning of the ice rink. Now I'm 3/4 of the way done, so I don't know if I want to take it out and show you. Yes, let's do it. The fact that it's not ironed doesn't do it any justice, but you'll definitely get the gist. I have 100% loved this. This is my favourite caterpillar piece that I've been doing. So we started on the ice rink, and that's the part I showed you last time. And then we moved on to doing these buildings and houses. I added quite a few things, so I gave them all hats. Embroidered hats, it's not going to focus, is it? And then I've added like a candy cane here, little pathway, lead for the dog, the cocoa sign. So I've just, each part has got little bits that I have changed. My favourite part I've changed is that I swapped a flat block and I've made it into my house. So this is what my new home actually looks like. I'll try and insert a picture so you can see, but you'll see it from another video. It's got good definition. Is that the right word? Probably not. So that my house does stand out quite a lot in real life, so it's perfect for this, and I just love that I've added it to the piece overlooking the ice rink. This is cute. This is a silhouette of Father Christmas, and then I've changed this to a bakery, this to a little hotel, not sure about that, but we'll go with it, and then the skiers, and I also added and made this little snowman pattern, which I'll probably do here as well, any spare space. So it's coming on really well. I've got the latest part, which probably encompasses all of this, and then we'll just have a bit along the bottom, and then it's done. So I'm hoping by first week of December it will be all done. And I have been busy, here's one I made earlier, making this frame to display it. It's nothing too fancy. It is mount board, and we have Christmas ribbon from the calendar last year. It's pinned, but I need to do something about the pins because they're a bit too big. And then I'm going to probably use a bit of double-sided tape around the edges to keep the cross stitch in place. But I'm very happy with how it's coming along, and I'll insert a picture of how it looked when I tried it out the other day, and it was actually ironed, so you can see it a bit better. So that is everything that I have made this year. I can't imagine that I'll make much more before the end of the year. I mean, it's always possible, but I think that's my lot pretty much. I've really enjoyed it. It's something that really helps me to just feel relaxed, and it's really good for mental health. It's good for everything. So if you are someone who would like to take up a craft, then let me know. If you are somebody that does craft, let me know. Also tell me if you got to the end of this video showing all those projects. I can imagine it's quite a long one, and I can't wait to see you all again. I'm planning to show you my Christmas decorations, and that'll probably be my last video this year. And early next year, I mean, I'm getting married and then I'm going to Orlando, so exciting times ahead. I'll see you again soon. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.